Hello, hello, welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Let's continue on and see what Part 4 has in for us now.
Ike and company managed to evade their persistent foes, finally arriving in Cien, the capital of Benyan, the Tower of Guidance. According to the creed of the goddess, which has been taught across the continent by Benyan, this is where the goddess Asherah will appear during times of great crisis to lead the people to safety.
Dude, her eyes are
As
freaky.
even the smallest child in Benyan knows, the tower is sacred and mere mortals may not enter.
Well, we're
With
anything
the
but
world
mere.
edging toward catastrophe, the tower glows like a pillar of pure light, as though to pierce the very heavens.
Yours will be the drill that pierces the heavens! Gurren Lagann, anyone? Endgame. Rebirth. Giant shining dick. I mean, tower. Well, here it is, the tower that showcased so prominently in the intro to Path of Radiance. I think in Japanese, the titles for these games, rather than being like Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn or whatever, it's like something like Legend of the Blue Flame Trail or something like that. And then like the Blue Flames of the Heavens or something like that. Blue features a lot more in the title in Japanese from what I understand, although I haven't looked into it in a while. We're running out of time. The outer gates of Cien. Oh snap, Scrimmer's here. Well, that means Micaiah's here too. Oh, it's Kanega's gift. Whoa, whoa, snap. Okay, they've already cleared out the inside. In an occurrence that I'm told is increasingly common, we heard a voice in our dreams and followed it here. We joined up with King Kanegas and mopped up the disciples' forges around the capital. The only people left within the city are the ones who have been petrified. Good, I like air breathers with initiative. You all need to hear this. All three teams got here in a little faster than I thought you would. While you were traveling, I went around recruiting more help, including King Kanegas here. Unfortunately, it looks like Ashura had the same idea. By the time I made my way to Goldoa, there was no one there. What do you mean? Where are they? If you're saying what I think you're saying, then we could have a very big problem. Lots of very big problems. I don't know for sure, Tabarn. There aren't a whole lot of dragons altogether, but it looks like every one of them joined Ashura. They're nowhere else on all of Tellius, so they must already be inside the tower. Alright, okay, we got a bunch of 3 stars here, and some stuff with Stefan and the dragons, and all that. Oh snap. I stand before you in full health, thanks to your efforts, of course. Oh god, excuse me, I'm sorry. I stand by you, my lord. So Renning taught Bastion magic? Is he some sort of armor mage? Faithful steed, huh? He sounds more like a paladin. Basically, you might be wondering why they're giving us Renning right now, and more or less it's because, you know, they gotta give you replenishment units in Fire Emblem, and he's more or less like, I guess in case you lost one of the Royal Knights by this point or something. I'm sure he's amazing on 0% growth playthroughs or something. Uh-oh, Jeffrey's not gonna give up his thing. Let's take it outside then. Perhaps I'll remind you why you have never won a match against me. I'll show you that I spent 3 years being... And Jeffrey's still inferior to Ike in every way imaginable. Aww. Talking about finality, but before we look at those other info scenes, let's go look at Renning, shall we? Alright, so he's level 16 Gold Knight, so he can only level up 4 times. He starts with 29 speed. So he's like more or less within range of like, I don't know, strength, skill, and speed caps, and then his defensive stats aren't really that bad. He comes with a double S in swords. So I guess he's kind of like a, I don't know, like maybe a, if you didn't use any sword units the whole game, and you know, there's an upcoming special sword we're gonna get that only double S sword users can use. So he's like your ace in the hole for that, I suppose. I've literally never used him though, because by the time I get him, you know, it's not that his stats are bad, it's just that everyone else I have is better than him. So, yeah, but he's not bad by any means. Anyway, let's see the Stefan scene. Very strange, what are you? That's a strange question, especially coming from you. Didn't you create all of us? I didn't create anything, not Laguz nor Beork. But I know what they are, because I've watched them change and grow over time. You're not something I've seen before. I'm the same as the girl you dwell inside. Oh, I thought Micaiah was the only one. She could hear my voice and sing the Galder of Release. But I learned that others existed. There's that boy who's always with Ike, or the little girl who stays by the Queen of Crimea. I assume little girl by the Queen of Crimea means Amy. And that's just like the other flag that you know that she's branded. There are several in my village as well. They are my comrades. We all live under the same fate and carry the same curse in our blood. When you say these words, what do they mean? Why are you cursed? It means that we carry the blood of both Beork and Laguz. Beork call us branded, and Laguz call us parentless. Not always. It means that Laguz and Beork mixed blood somewhere along the line. Beork and Laguz rarely associate in that way. For them to conceive a child together is an even rarer event. What's strange is that the child bears no Laguz characteristics. It's just a normal Beork infant. However, the Laguz blood lies asleep, waiting, in the child's veins. One day, the Laguz blood shows itself, marking the child's body with a brand. How old is that girl? I don't think she's as young as she looks. The other curse is that we age differently from Beork. Depends on what Laguz blood the child has, but it always slows how fast we age. The Laguz blood gives the branded unnatural powers. Beork fear and distrust us because they can't understand those abilities. The Laguz are even worse. They treat us like we're phantoms, refusing to acknowledge us, as if we don't even exist. It's easy to hide among Bjorks. You just cover the brand, avoid getting close to anyone, and never settle down, pretending you're normal. The Lagoos are different. They can sense what we are. They have an instinct for it. Not all Lagoos know for sure, but the sharp ones figure it out instantly. Others just feel uneasy around us. Some never figure it out, but they're surrounded by ones who do. Either way, the Lagoos would never talk to us voluntarily. Why would you pay attention to someone who doesn't even exist? Why? That doesn't make any sense. How did things get like that? I would like to know that as well. It's said that a union between Lagoos and Bjork is a crime against the goddess. That's what we've always been told. That's silly. I've never heard anything of the sort. Why are you laughing? It's all been a lie. For hundreds of years, we've faced persecution, abuse, and isolation. And for what? A lie. What's not to laugh about? What's happened? This is all wrong. How did history get so distorted? Was it a particular place in time? I don't understand. I've been asleep for too long. Dun dun dun. Oh, Kurth is worried about Almeida. Oh yeah, Ana was in Dane 3 years ago, and she didn't talk to Almeida at all. All in the past, but earlier in the storyline, like Dragon said 3 years was nothing. It must feel like just yesterday to you. There's no jeez, that's a lie. Oh, well that's true too. That would mean insulting my beloved for his sacrifice, for his nobility. Grandfather here to visit. Nasir is here. We haven't seen each other in over 90 years, I believe. Lady Almeida, are you aware of the fact that everything that's happening is due to your decision to leave Goldoa? What? Explain, Nasir. King Dagencia forbade the Dragon Tribe to use our transformation for the purpose of war. Almeida, you left because you did not agree with this policy, did you not? That's right. Shortly after you left Goldoa, you met Ashnard in Dane and were united with him. However, your union beget a chain of tragedies. Did you know that the Red Dragon platoon, which went in search of you, was captured and turned into feral ones by King Ashnard? Hey look, they just explained every Red Dragon we've ever fought. Ashnard needed Goldoa to get involved in his war. That's why he did everything in his power to provoke King Dagencia. Most of you have never fought in a war, but even more than other Lagoos, the Dragon Tribe loses control once they taste battle. Near the end of the war, we found out that Prince Rajayan could not be saved. I thought the king would surely go on a rampage. At the time, we had no idea that Lady Almeida was still alive. The king thought he'd lost not only dragon soldiers, but also his children. If the war had ended any later, had Ike not killed Ashnard, Goldoa would have joined the war, and we would have started killing. We would have destroyed the Dane army, its co-conspirators, everyone. We would not have stopped until the continent was ashes. Then the spirit of chaos would have spread across Tellius, awakening the goddess and destroying the Dragon Tribe. That was the danger we faced in the Mad King's War. But Ashnard was defeated, and Rajayan regained his sanity thanks to the songs of the Heron clan. We escaped annihilation once. We took Prince Rajayan's body back to Goldoa, and the king did not shed a tear, nor fly into a rage. He endured his loss by himself. He endured for the sake of his last child, and for the sake of his people. Goldoa remained neutral. But now, all that effort has been wasted. The war between the Lagoos Alliance and Binyan has spread through Dane and Crimea. And to top it all off, Goldoa can no longer stay neutral because of what Prince Kurthnaga has done. This was not Prince Kurth's fault. Besides, the goddess Yune was not awakened by chaos. She was awakened by the Galdra of release. By a Galdra? Are you certain? Yes, that was what Sir Ike said. That's very strange. Nevertheless, the end result remains the same. Goddess Eshra has rendered her judgment. The Lagoos and Bjork must follow her decision. I come here as a favor to the king. Prince Kurthnaga, you have to return to us, at once. If we just accept Eshra's judgment, we'll all be turned to stone. That's the end of history as we know it. Do you expect me to just lie down and accept that? How can I? What you are asking is insanity. I won't do it. Dun, 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 dun. Kurth grew some giant balls. Dude, fucking Gifka's like larger than Kanegas. It's crazy. I think this is the first time I've seen them stand side by side. It's called Irvan, if I remember correctly. I borrowed it from your father's grave. Why? Honestly, I have no idea, but I felt a sudden urge to visit Grail's grave on the morning of our journey. When I told Gifka my idea for a little side trip, he said he thought the same thing. I believe we were guided to your father's grave by a divine message from the goddess. When I saw your father's axe, I was convinced that I had to take it to you. I felt that's what your father would have wanted. Maybe he and my mother are looking over us from somewhere else. Alright, it's my father's, so it's only right that I take it. Dun 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 dun. And this is the strongest axe in the entire game. And we're actually going to give it to Boyd, but Ike can also use it because he can get double S in axes. Looking for you is still like trying to find spilled ink at night. You're starting to look like Grail. That might be true too. He is my dad. I didn't expect to see you here. Did someone from this camp hire you? Sure did. I see. It's good to have you on our side under any circumstances. Why did you call me over? I have something to return to you. What's all this money for? It's the 50,000 gold you paid me the last time around. Well, minus my pay, expenses, and that sort of thing, of course. Even so, there's a lot here. Well, the contract ended sooner than I expected, I guess. It was a job. There's no need to thank me. I know, but if you hadn't told me the story of my father, I would have never known about his past. So thanks, Volk. Yeah, so anyhow, you have your money back. See you later. Did he really just get embarrassed because I thanked him? What a weird guy. 20,000 gold. Oh yeah. I don't think there's any supports we can do right now. But we now begin the choosing phase for what is the end game of the entire run. And as you can see, we have an awful lot of characters to use, and a lot of things we can buy in the shop all of a sudden. Suddenly the game gives us all sorts of arm scrolls, shine barriers, lagoon stones out the ass, S-rank throwing knives that have 13 power, which are the same ones that Volk comes with. A worm slayer, because, you know, we're about to fight a bunch of dragons. We can buy olive grass, you know, unlimited olive grass. These cards. The most important thing to get is probably physics staffs and maybe a restore staff or two. And even a ward staff could actually be pretty useful. But more important than any of that is choosing who we use. It's kind of a spoiler, but we actually get to choose, or well, the mandatory units coming up are Ike, Micaiah, Soth, one of the Herons, you only get to choose one, Sanaki, and then beyond that, 11 other units. And those 11 other units can be anyone. So we could take all the Lagu's Royals, we could take anyone from the Dawn Brigade, anyone from the Grail Mercenaries, anyone. But of course, it's the end of the game, and so the people you take are really important. They should be powerful, they should be strong, they should be fast. There isn't really a wrong team. You can beat the game with almost anyone, assuming they are strong enough. And so we actually need to choose who is effective and who's not. We need to make an effective team and go ahead and prep them up. And we'll get several preparation screens, and the game will tell you this. But the game will also kind of hurt you a little bit. There's a little bit of it's a little finicky with who you're going to get to bring. And when I say that, I just mean, like, you get to select your team, but you don't get to go back to the prep screen after you select them. You'll carry your convoy into the tower, you'll still be able to forge weapons eventually, but there's sort of a cutoff point once you choose. And so you gotta be careful.